Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode. Coming up today, we've got Tyler Dobbs, our Government Affairs Director, going to talk to us a little bit about some government updates.
And I'm back in Texas after visiting my buddy Matt in Muncie.
And this weekend is the Perry Swap Meet. We're going to tell you a little bit about that as well. All that and more coming up today on AMA Air. Hello, everybody. It's March the 3rd, 2023. Welcome to a brand new episode of AMA Air. My name is Matt Ruddick.
Hi, guys. I'm Lee Ray.
Lee, hello. It's good to see you. It's like I haven't seen you in ages, sir.
Like a week, maybe?
I know.
No, I am back.
Yeah. So you came to visit us here in Muncie. How was the trip for you?
My third trip, and it's awesome. And I didn't even get to tell you like one of the best parts that was on Friday, but I'll start by saying had a great time. So glad that my boss Rob had me come up there and hang out with everybody. Had several meetings. My goodness, I was so busy. But I want to just let everybody know that I went to lunch with Matt and Mark, and I think the whole pulled pork thing was exciting because I know I was asking, okay, what do I have to eat? What's the food in Muncie? And you had just said pulled pork, or not pulled pork, excuse me. It was
pork tenderloin.
Pork tenderloin, but it was breaded.
Yes.
Right? Oh, yeah. So I had that sandwich, and that was good.
That's an Indiana staple.
It's got to be. It was a great sandwich, and it was a good lunch, and I had a great time hanging out. And the part I was going to add is the museum's closed. Usually doesn't open until the summer for the events. But I got to hang out in the museum for like an hour, and that's the most I've ever had an opportunity just to myself because I was taking a whole bunch of video and photography for some upcoming work, and that was a blast. So I'm going to do a little promo here for the museum. If you have not been to the National Model Aviation Museum in Muncie, put that also on your bucket list while you bring planes to fly at the IAC. It's just so much fun, and I still didn't feel like I got to see everything because Michael, the curator, wasn't there at the time, so I didn't get to go through the shelves and the stuff in the back, because that would be great. But it was a wonderful museum, and look for a little video I'll post on our Facebook page for the museum.
Yeah, and there's so many hidden treasures over there, and a lot of them are back on the shelves. I mean, it's people that go through the museum, they see how much there is on display, but what they don't know is how much there is that's not on display that gets rotated in and out all the time. And there's probably 3 to 4 times as much stuff in the back in storage than there is that's actually on display at any given time. So it's
Absolutely.
Pretty crazy.
And you just made me think, another shout out to all those volunteers who work in the workshop, because the workshop is great too. I mean, it's a nice little place of heaven if you're a builder. But those guys are there to repair things and work on the museum, getting the museum display set up. But that is also nice. And I'll do a little shout out because I don't know if you knew this story, but my buddy Terry used to work for NASA. And he's going to kill me for not remembering the name of the astronaut, but one of his buddies, astronauts, who was going up on the space station, I believe, was asking if he had any item Terry would like to go up in space. And Terry gave him a Cox 049. And so in the museum,
awesome.
Terry has donated a Cox 049 that has made a few trips around planet Earth. So
that is
the highest altitude 049 ever.
I didn't know that story. I'm a little bummed I didn't know that story, but now I'm going to have to go over there and have a talk with Michael so I can see it.
I was going to say, now the edge to Michael is like, okay, now you got to put that front and center now. Nice little box right there. And make sure no one takes it. Think it's not, it's like a little just to use. But I think that was a cool story. So
that is cool.
Shout out to Terry.
So, Lee, before we get started with the show, and we've got a lot to talk about, but I just wanted to ask you, because I know this is something you and I both enjoy quite a bit, so I wanted to ask you, obviously spring training has started in baseball.
Baseball? Yeah.
Even though you're an Astros fan, it's fine. It's fine.
It's great.
I'll let it slide. But I just wanted to ask you, because it's the topic of conversation lately, how do you feel about the pitch clock?
I hate it. I mean, you told me this, full disclosure for everybody watching. Matt said, I got a question I want to ask you. And I told him, don't tell me I won't be prepared. I'm totally not prepared for this. But gosh, I have been reading some threads and posts and just how awful it is. And I got to say, it is the craziest thing. Is like, how can you bring, the game down any further? And one of my favorite things, my favorite post yet has been, all we asked for were for better umpires. and instead we got this clock. All right. So that's my response. How do you feel?
I love it.
What?
I love it. I do. I like, is it perfect? No, it's not perfect, but I kind of dig it. It's, I saw a video make the way around Twitter yesterday of a strikeout that happened in 20 seconds. A full 3 pitches in 20 seconds. And I said, yes, this is what I needed. I don't need any more 4-hour baseball games. That's all I'm saying. I love watching baseball. I don't like sitting in one place for 4 hours.
I'm curious. I don't see anybody responding to that topic, but I would love to see people comment about their thoughts on the baseball.
How do you feel about the pitch clock?
Aviation, for model aviation, but that is it's very interesting, and maybe we'll take this offline later, a little longer.
I like it.
That is a very interesting topic, and so your team clock, and I'm team play ball.
And go Dodgers. Okay, so so let's jump right into it, Lee. We wanted to bring on Tyler Dobbs, who's our Government Affairs Director, to kind of give us a little bit of an update about some of the things going on in the world of government advocacy. There's a lot of stuff happening and a lot of moving parts, and it's always nice to get an update every once in a while that we could have him on the show to talk about. So I'd like to introduce our Senior Director of Government Affairs, Mr. Tyler Dobbs. Hello, Tyler. How's it going?
It's going well. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Lee, for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So let's jump right into it, Tyler. I know there's a lot of things that have happened over the course of the last few weeks. Why don't you give us a little bit of an update on things going on in your world?
Yeah, it's a busy year for sure. We have FAA Reauthorization this year, which we can get into a little later. And then we have kind of our day-to-day, such as our safety risk management panels that we're working on for our clubs, flying sites and controlled airspace. I took part in one of those yesterday in Alaska, and I can say that it went well. AMA has a 100% success rate in improving and reducing the risk to an acceptable level to allow those clubs to get altitudes much higher than what the UAS facility map in that area allows. And if you're not in controlled airspace, you don't know what that map is. Basically around controlled airspace or controlled airports, busier airports, most of them with control towers, they have predetermined what altitude you can safely fly at that location. And when you request authorization, you get it up to that altitude. Basically starts at 0 around the airport, and as you move further out, it goes up to 400 feet. The club yesterday was in a 400-foot grid, and they were requesting 2,000 feet, and we proved that they can safely operate up to that 2,000 feet altitude. So that's good news, and that's something that we do on a regular basis. So those types of things are kind of our day-to-day. FRIA applications is something that Gov is not specifically working on, but we're assisting the clubs department, Lee, and others, the group and the team that has been assembled to apply for those applications, which are doing a great job. That process is being led by Ilona Main and our clubs department and some from the club staff. And as I mentioned, Lee's helping with that and a few others. So AMA has submitted hundreds of those. I think last time I checked, we're probably heading somewhere towards 600 that have been submitted, and we will have all of our requests submitted before that September date. That being said, the FAA has informed us that they have not started processing any of those applications, and they have to do a few things before they can do so. It will likely be summertime before we see those applications. I see XJet said here, the FAA says only 4,000 FRIAs. XJet, I was in that meeting. They did not just say only 4,000 FRIAs. They did say that they anticipate 4,000 FRIAs, but there is no limit to what could be submitted. When we started this process, that was with the notice of proposed rulemaking within the FAA, where they were set using the number 2,500. AMA worked with the FAA and said, look, it's going to be more than 2,500. AMA has 2,500 by itself. Exactly. You guys haven't taken into account Civil Air Patrol sites, JROTC sites across the country, educational institutes. all of those are going to have their own application processes. If you guys allow individuals to submit, that goes up by 100 and some thousand. Will they? They have said in their remote ID rule that is not what they anticipate doing. They did not want individuals to submit FRIA applications and get those approved on private property where just one person is flying. We would love that to be the case, and that's something that we'll obviously push for. I think that FRIAs, for the most part, provide additional security if that's truly the government's concern is national security and who's flying where. I can go onto the drone zone and I can request a registration number under any of your names. There's no verification or nobody checking to make sure that I'm entering that correct information. Whereas when we apply for a FRIA, we have club oversight. The club is going to know who's flying at that site. We also have AMA headquarters oversight. We know the club. We know the club officers at that location. We know that they are who they say they are. So there's an extra level of scrutiny and an extra level of security in our eyes. And so that's something that we're continue to take to the FAA and say, hey, look, FRIAs is a way to get additional security at these locations. So we'll see where all that lands. The FAA is still putting their team together, and we hope that they will begin processing that relatively soon. So, Lee, I don't know if you have anything to add. You're kind of boots on the ground on applying for these, but.
No, you touched on something that made me laugh at first about, the registration part of I could be Bob Smith and, do whatever, but you're absolutely right as far as our communication with our clubs. And I think I've had conversations with nearly every club I've worked with, whether just email or by phone, because I've actually had people just call me because it's a lot easier to talk and chat. And as I had mentioned to Matt on one show, it's like I started having a nice conversation with a guy just because we're hobbyists. And so we do understand what our clubs need as far as their FRIA layout. And I know, and by the way, there's some clubs that have really educated me, because there's one club here in Houston that actually encompasses 2 fields. I thought they would be separate, but this guy was like, oh no, our setup with the city is that, both clubs are running under us. So that really helped us out, because now they get a huge, setup for them. And by the way, the county provided them with that area. It wasn't like we didn't ask or demand for it. The county was that considerate. So I hope those of you out there with your clubs, work with your counties and just ask if they can give you a little bit more, or, find out there's other free areas out there that they're willing to add more clubs. We'd love to add some more out there.
Yeah, for sure. And I know that, a lot of people have questions on that. What happens if I get denied and all of these things? And we don't know because the FAA doesn't know yet. But rest assured, we will continue to give them help. We think FRIAs is a viable solution to meet the requirements that the DoD and FAA and others want, and that should be an option for the people who want to follow the rules and fly safely. So we'll see where things land, and we'll continue to give updates on that.
Okay.
Also wanted to discuss night operations in controlled airspace. That has something that has been restricted since 2018. Even at our fixed flying sites in controlled airspace, they haven't been permitted to do so. Our members probably saw that we released some night training. It was a video and a document. It's been a couple of weeks ago now or so. Very short video. It takes maybe a couple minutes. Matt produced it. You did a great job on that, Matt. But once you go through this video, watch it or read the document, which is essentially just written text of this video, or you go to your club's flying site, you get some night training from the safety officer or somebody who's there that's skilled, then that's the requirement to fly at night, even in controlled airspace. Since we've released that video, the FAA has authorized these types of operations in controlled airspace. You can now go to a Lance app and request to fly at night in controlled airspace. So I know, Lee, you and I had a discussion earlier today about that, and I think you put in a submission.
Yeah, I want to say, if you are not already aware, AMA members, you have access to UA Sidekick at no charge. You can go to UA Sidekick. I think I'll pull up the little link here. Where do I have it? I wasn't ready to show the link. Can you pull it up for me? Matt, because I was so busy looking at UA Sidekick, and it's probably just uasidekick.com, but I think mine has .app. But this tool here allows you, I think this is great. I have it on my phone. It's a mobile app, but it's great to, wherever you are, just pull up to see where the TFRs are located, to see if there are any restrictions. Or in this case, if you zoom in here, and I think I can pull it up right here, you can see where the AMA clubs are. And there's my AMA club right there. It gives you a tag of our flying sites. So if you're visiting some place from out of town, like going to Muncie, there's this big one right there in Muncie. You can pull up flying clubs and go visit. But what I did was I wanted to learn about this night flying procedure. So I'm not going to pull up the whole form, but I was able to go into the little Sugarland controlled airspace here and add a little circle for flying at night, set it for like 8 p.m. And the UA Sidekick took all the information and processed it. So I'm currently got tonight at 8 o'clock, a flight I can do over in Sugarland at a little school park. So anyway, just things you can do. So yes, absolutely correct. And I'll see if I can pull it up here. I'm going to switch screens, but as he was saying, the FAA authorized this. So it's right here. So there's the link for the FAA thing. So yeah, if you want to do that in controlled airspace, you have the ability.
Yep. And for our clubs in controlled airspace, we know that your letter of agreement does not authorize those flights as of yet. The FAA is working with us on just a template paragraph, basically, that will change that. It will be added as an amendment to your letter of agreement. It'll be tacked on there, and then you can resume night operations in those locations if that's something you do. And let's see, I see a XJet again mentioned something about an initiative. Yeah, we've spoken with Flight Test and FTCA and others about that initiative. We are supportive of anything that reduces the burdens that the hobby sees. Raising that to 1 kilogram would be great. That is one of dozens of changes that we would like to see, which kind of brings me into my next point. Myself and the Govt team will be back in DC next week. We have already taken part in hundreds of congressional meetings to work towards FAA reauthorization. All next week, we'll be doing the same thing. We are there at least 1 week a month, often 2 weeks a month for congressional and FAA meetings working towards reauthorization. As you know, it's been since 2018 since we've had these rules in place, and simply a good portion of them are not working for us. The processes take forever. They need to streamline those. They need to raising the threshold would be great. A host of other things that need to be done to make entering into the hobby much easier. We see a lot of FAA resources are being dedicated to the recreational community. On the other hand, we have commercial operators who are still trying to do what they consider their basic operations. So free up some FAA resources for the commercial folks and, let us go back to flying safely. As I say numerous times, we are the lowest risk on the spectrum in the airspace. So we should be handled that way. The rules that we follow should be very light. They should be managed, for the most part by CBOs and others who are out flying safely. So that's something that we're going to be working towards. We hope we get a new bill this year. We'll have to kind of wait and see, but next week we'll be dedicated to that. My days are completely booked already, which is good news. Offices are really working towards changes, and we're excited to continue educating and pushing for our changes.
Yeah, what you were saying, just let's not let the mistakes of a few ruin it for the many that have been flying safely for so many years. And I wish you good luck, Tyler, in DC. I know it's tough, and I'll bring this up. Although Matt wasn't prepared, I was like, we know we're going to work on your microphone issues in DC. So hopefully we'll get
it's hard. I mean, we always try to shoot a video when in between meetings or something, and they're always doing construction and there's traffic, and so we apologize.
Like right in the middle of the road in some of these. So it's not like they're going to just let you record something in an office. So
right.
We understand you had to probably go outside. They need a little spot for you. It's a good Tyler gazebo.
Just let one of the senators let you in their office and record it from in there. I'm sure that'd be easy.
And a couple of things.
Well, Tyler, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to give us some updates on some really important things that are going on in the government advocacy front. I think there's a lot of really good information in there that folks can get some really good use out of.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me on, guys, and happy to provide an update whenever you'd like to hear.
We appreciate it, Tyler. Have a good one, and have a great trip to DC next week. Well, so let's talk a little bit about one of the I kind of call it a keystone event in our hobby that goes on throughout the year. It's the Perry Swap Meet. That is going on this weekend down in Georgia. Lee, I know you actually got to visit and be part of the Perry Swap Meet last year. Why don't you tell folks a little bit about the Perry Swap Meet?
Bring money and have a plan. There you go. And I know it's today and tomorrow, so some of the people right now are in there, doing their sales, and they're not watching this. So those of you who are, like, put it on, maybe not kind of attitude, and you're near, I'd say within 100 miles, that's probably worth the trip.
Yeah.
You should definitely go. It was a lot of fun. 3 huge buildings of just crazy stuff, and it's never the same. I mean, every year is going to be different. You're getting new people coming in there with their barn finds and stuff, and we came home with a lot of goodies. We brought Fitz's trailer with us all the way from Texas. Fitz and Kirk and I went up there, so definitely worth going. I couldn't make it this year because I'm doing AMA Air with Matt, but yeah, definitely go in there. And if you give me a second here, I will show you that online on our YouTube channel we have this great video where Tony Stillman and Fitz Walker are walking around Perry, and I just sat there, recorded. I just sat there behind, but they interviewed a lot of people. I'm just fast forwarding through here, so you can go check this out on our YouTube channel. And just tons of fun stuff. And I just remember there were so many people, because we did this as a live show. So many people from out of the country were going, "Wow, we don't have anything like that," And then when we went from like one building to the second building, they're like, "What? There's 2 buildings?" And then we went to the third building, like, "There's 3 buildings." So. If you love this hobby and you want to just go through some crazy finds, there's some good stuff. And I'll just tell you, there was one where we were live. This is for RC Roundtable, and our buddy Terry Dunn was watching, and he actually said, "Stop, go back and buy this." And so while we were doing a live show, we did a sales transaction with a gentleman there at Perry Swap Meet. So again, here's a good little pan of this is the 3rd building, I believe. Lots and lots of fun, folks. So again, happening this weekend. Let me pull it up here. I think I got it right here. There's the link, gammarc.com, known as the Southeastern Model Show, but we all call it the Perry Swap Meet.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think everybody kind of knows it as the Perry Swap Meet, and it's again, like I said, it's a keystone event in this hobby. It's one that's been around for a long time, and you never know what you're going to find at that swap meet. That's kind of the beauty of it. So gamarc.com/SMS show is the place to go if you want to get more information that's going on this weekend.
Yeah, I think all the tables are sold, so you're just going to be a buying thing. You missed your chance to get a table. I mean, they sell out fast. So next year, if you're going to try to do some sales, sign up early.
I always feel like I realize this is the wrong way to look at it, but I feel like it's more fun to buy stuff than it is to sell stuff. I realize that makes no sense whatsoever. But that's kind of just my gut feeling on it. Anyway.
There's a lot of, I've never had one of those before. I'm going to buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I've never had one of these.
Exactly. Well, let's, here you go, Lee. Here, I'm teeing you up. Switching gears.
Switching gears. Oh, where is that one?
See, you got to be on it. You got to be quicker about
it. I'm going as fast as I can. I'm also talking too. What you got for switching gears?
So, Club of the Month. Let's talk about Club of the Month for a second. Right. Because as you guys know, every month we have a brand new Club of the Month we like to feature here on the show and on our social media channels. And Lee, why don't you tell us about the Club of the Month for the month of March?
I will. All right. Do we do the drum roll?
I can't do the drum roll.
Drum roll, and here we go. Okay. So for March, the Silent Nights Soaring Society is our Club of the Month. And it just so happened that, and this is, you have a way of submitting it. I don't have the link here. You'll have to look for the link, Mac, while I'm talking. But there's a way you can submit your club. But during one of our free applications last year, I was working with a club who had a very large field. And I was asking what they needed it for. And sure enough, they needed it for soaring, which was perfect. And after we talked, they had asked, it's like, so how do we submit our clubs for Club of the Month? And I said, well, you just enter here. And so they entered a submission. I checked on it about a month later, and I was like, wow, they do a lot. So it's a gold member club, a gold leader club, excuse me. And I'm, passionate for sailplanes. So maybe there's a little bit of, my side going, oh, I like these guys. But what I got to tell you, I've been searching their website and going through some photo galleries. And, they did one of the freeze flies in January. So, they had people come in to do early stuff. But they work with youth. They do model rocketry out there too. So if you give me a second, I'll pull up my other page here. But this was a freeze fly. But they have youth come out there, and this is a great little blog post that they talked about. Like during COVID, they couldn't have this camp, but last year they do it. They call it the White Clay Creek State Park Day Camp, and they had about 14 kids come out there, and they just bring them out there to their club, and they build planes and they fly them. Look at that! But look at that grass runway. Wow. I don't have an overhead shot to provide, but what a beautiful field that they have. And they, work with these youth. I just love this photo.
Somebody is taking very good care of that field.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is their Facebook page. So they have a good gallery of photos out there. But you know what? This one right here spoke to me. This is a group of SAE Aero Design students. So college students going out there to test fly their aircraft. And this club is very generous at providing them with that access. So again, congratulations to the Silent Night Soaring Society Club number 950. They've been around since 1985. And you know what? If I'm ever up there, I'm definitely going to pay this club a visit, because I'd love to get my hands on some. I mean, it's been a while since I've been on a huge soaring field like that, because they also do aero tow. And I think that'd be a great place to visit. They seem like a very, very friendly group.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations to the Silent Night Soaring Society. That's it looks like a great club. So congratulations to them. One thing that I did want to make sure that we touched on the show today was the Nats. We're going to try to tell you about the Nats as much as we can moving forward through the rest of the spring and into the summer, because this year is a celebration of the 100th. It's the 100th anniversary, rather. Let me make sure I say that correctly.
Yeah, exactly.
Of the very first Nats event. That's what happens when I try to do two things at once. I'm not very good at it.
Yeah, same here, having me try to click banner while I'm talking. So fair is fair.
It's the 100th anniversary of the very first Nats event, which was the Mulva Hill event back in 1923. We're celebrating that 100th anniversary, and for the next 4 years, as we approach 2026, which was the 100th actual competition of the Nats, we're going to be celebrating kind of our centennial era of the National Air Modeling Championships. And we want you guys to know is that registration is open right now. If you've not registered to compete in this year's Nats, you can do that right now by heading over to nats.modelaircraft.org. You can register, or modelaircraft.org/Nats. They go to the same place, just so that so I don't confuse you too bad. But you can go there, get registered for the event of your choice or events of your choice. For example, if you want to compete against one of your favorite AMA Air hosts, you can do that by registering for, is it the soaring, was it soaring?
Nostalgia class.
Nostalgia.
Soaring,
yes,
yeah.
There you go.
So, yeah, you know what? I have no problems coming in last place. It's just participating. So y'all can come out there and get all your trophies and your ribbons. I don't care. I'm just out there to go, enjoy this. I think it's something everybody should try to do at least once.
Yeah, that's right. And according to our wonderful website counter, we are 17 weeks, 5 days, 4 hours, 31 minutes until the start of the Nats, which includes our indoor Nats event, which is taking place out in Moscow, Idaho. So that's going to be really exciting for the folks out there. Of course, the outdoor Nats will be here at the International Air Modeling Center in Muncie. And we did want to also let you guys know that we have something for you guys. We just got everything finalized. The 2023 International Air Modeling Center calendar has been updated, and you can find that over at modelaircraft.org/IAC. We have a digital version right there that you can click on and download and print out this PDF. It's got all the events going on here at the IAC in Muncie. If you're in the area and you want to come visit, well, there you go. That tells you all of the dates, including all of the Nats dates, with all the specific disciplines singled out there. So.
Yeah, out at IAC. I got to tell you, truth be told, I don't think I really counted how many events were out at IAC, and there were a lot.
It's a lot.
So they are very busy. And is it correct? Is it modelaircraft.org/camp? The campsite. What's the link for
camping? Modelaircraft.org/camping, I believe. Let me double check that before somebody tells me I'm wrong.
Yeah, because I was going to say, if you want to, go out there and to attend an event, you'll want to get on the camping schedule to reserve a spot. And I don't know where I'm staying, actually. I started thinking about that. I was like, I'm so busy. I've already registered to participate, but I have no idea where I'm going to stay. Matt, you're going to leave a room open for me, right?
Yes, absolutely. I got a guest room. You might have to lay with the dog. I don't know. Sometimes she sleeps in the spare bedroom. It's fine. Okay. Yeah, modelaircraft.org/camping will take you to our camping portal where you can book your camping spot. It's a great time out here at the IAC, and I hope you guys can come out and join us.
Yeah, I'll see you then. I'll be out 2 more times, Camp AMA and for NATS.
Yeah, Camp AMA is coming up in June?
I don't have the dates. I'm just told to go, and they'll send me a little note and be here. Yeah,
we'll tell you when. It's fine.
Tell me when.
Well, cool. Lee, let's talk real quick before we wrap the show up about the cover photo contest for the iFly AMA Facebook group. Do we have a winner?
We do. But, of course, you sprung it on me. This has been one of those episodes where it was like, hey, how about we just surprise Lee with...
Was that a surprise? I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. But, how do you can tell everybody, where do you go to go see the iFly AMA group?
Well, if you want to check out the iFly AMA Facebook group, all you have to do is head over to facebook.com/groups/iFlyAMA. I'm looking for our lower third for it. There it is. And hit that join button, of course, answer a couple of questions so we make sure that you're not a robot, because who wants a robot in their group? But head over there and join today, and come join the awesome community that is in the iFly AMA Facebook group. And is that our winner?
That's our winner.
Tell us about it.
Hopefully that's ready. Well, again, every month we have a little contest where you submit photos. We do ask that they're your picture and of your plane, hopefully, not just like of some Blue Angel that's flying overhead. But this is, I think, what's creative about this one. I had to put the little asterisk, at the end was, I think he says the rocket had fallen off or something, so the author put it back. And I just want to let everybody know that is not really launching a rocket. Just FYI, guys, that's not safety guidelines. You don't launch rockets off of them.
It's not real.
But that's a nice little OV-10 Bronco. So. Thanks. Congratulations, Andreas, for submitting that photo. And gosh, as soon as I posted this, we have a lot more new entries. So again, go to facebook.com/group/iFlyAMA. And if you're not a member already, join. I will be the one to approve or disapprove your entry, but it's really simple. Answer some few simple questions, agree to the group rules, and start having conversations with a lot of fun people who share the same hobby interests.
Don't make Lee put on his disapproving face.
Well, there are some we have to disapprove, and we try to make sure that they're not, no one's spamming in the group. That unfortunately happens in a lot of groups, but overall, we have a great collection of photos, some great questions that pop up, even some polls. So again, please come on over and hang out with us.
It really is a wonderful community. I try to jump in there and chat with folks as much as I can, and but really my favorite thing is just to kind of sit back and enjoy some of the amazing content that you guys share in there, including photos, videos, and how-to tips, and all of the above. So come join us over at the iFly AMA Facebook group, and let's have some fun. I can tell you what I'm not going to be doing this afternoon is having fun going out and flying, because it is a monsoon happening in Muncie right now. You guys might have heard it through my microphone. It's hard to say, but it's pouring down rain. So guess what I'm not doing today? Flying anything. Lee, what about you? You got any plans to fly something this weekend?
Well, the storm came through here. We've had tornadoes in Texas, and I think all the way up to Oklahoma and Arkansas. So we had some bad storms here, very windy. But I'm going to rub it in a little bit. We're going flying Sunday. We've got a vendor here in town, Legend Hobby. When he gets new models out, usually Fitz gets to demo them, and I get to photograph and videotape them. But we'll be out at my club, and it's like, it's been a while since I've just hung out all day at my club. We did have a swap meet at my club a while back, and that was fun. But I'm going to bring several of my planes, a lot of my larger twins, and go hang out and capture some footage, possibly even review an article for Model Aviation by yours truly, Fitz Walker. So I'll be back in touch with you. I'll send you some snippets when I get back.
I would appreciate that. Well, I'm jealous. I'm not going to lie. I'm very jealous. I got to come down to Texas and go hang out with you and Fitz. I think that would be lots of fun. Maybe we can convince Terry to come down.
Yeah. So before I let you go,
because
this is the part I told you weren't prepared for.
Oh.
But to add to the fun, creative work that I'm doing with Fitz for his Hobby View channel, my son has an FPV race quad that he has followed us a couple of times on some fun events, not necessarily for reviews.
Yeah.
But after I did a mini MOA review for FITS, and I was using my Mavic Air 2, it just realized it's just not fast enough to keep up with some of the flights. So,
oh, I know what this is going to be. Oh, you got yourself a Cinewhoop.
yeah, so this is actually called the Cinelog 35, but you and I were just chatting about it. We were talking back and forth and getting some ideas, but I pulled the trigger. So this is a GEP RC. It's a it's they call it 35, so it's a 3.5-inch props. And I just watched some reviews. Joshua Bardwell did one, and I was like, I need to do something. I want to have fun. Yeah. So I got the quad. I'm waiting for my Radio Master to show up, and I got my batteries all charged and ready to go. And we'll have some fun. So I'm going to do hopefully some chase video for Fitz for his Hobby View channel.
I'm bummed. I'm sorry. Super bummed because you got a Cinewhoop before I did. I know. Yeah, I mean, congratulations. That's awesome. But
you and your time clock. You like baseball clocks. No, I'm just kidding. No, I will keep you informed. I have flown the FPV Racer. I fly my Air 2, and I've done FPV. I don't know if I've ever shared this story with you, but we did an FPV in-air refueling with an F-18 and another aircraft.
Okay.
I built a little foamy F-18, and we did FPV air refueling. So we had a little cone out the back, and I was able to capture onto it. So it was all FPV. So I've done it, just haven't done one where I've fully, chased an aircraft for high quality content video. So I've already had my GoPro 10 for a while. So it's just, that next step up to get some good capture. And of course, once I hopefully get used to this down here, I'll be bringing it up to do Camp AMA videos and stuff for Nats.
Yes, can't wait. That'll be super cool. I look forward to seeing what you think of that Radio Master. I've got one. I love it. Just putting that out there. So awesome. Well, Lee, thank you so much for joining us today on the show and helping me out wrangling this wonderful thing we have here that's AMA Air. I want to thank all of you guys out there for sticking around and watching us today. I've had a blast, and I hope you did too, and thank you for all your comments. If you guys are not yet members of the Academy of Model Aeronautics, we'd love it if you go check us out at modelaircraft.org, see what the AMA can do for you. We'd love for you guys to join us here at the AMA and be part of our family. It's a great time to be in this hobby. It really is. I know there's a lot of craziness happening, but we still have fun, and that's the important part.
And it's warming up. So it's time to get out of your build workshops and start going out into the fields.
Absolutely. It is just about that time for most of us. I know Texas, they can fly all the time. We can't fly all the time up here, Lee.
Sorry.
Just saying.
All I can say.
Well, hey, we're on a pitch clock here, so we've got to get going. But we want to thank you guys so much for joining us here on the show, and we'll see you all in the next episode of AMA Air. Happy flying, and see you later.